Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for October 16th, 2022. We're halfway through October, and we have some interesting news coming for Transformers and mostly Masterpiece Legends and Mainline. We got a little bit of Masters of the Universe stuff going on right now. Also, we're going to talk about that and an update to Eternia. Where are we at? Quickly touching on some of the Thundercats. I did make a video yesterday, so I don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but some stuff I left out I'll talk about. There's a Judge Dredd figure, which I think is kind of cool, just very interesting to me, until I heard the price. And of course, some Star Wars news this week, so we're just going to talk about actual new Star Wars news. This and more, coming up. Alright, as always, starting out with what's new at ShowZ and some pretty cool stuff. Iron Factory with the EX58 Hometown Watcher Huffer. This thing is about $27 and it's up for pre-order right now with $1 down. And it's a little under 4 inches tall. Due to release sometime this year, but the cool thing about it is that it's a Huffer. We've seen it before. It's moved along, a little bit better pictures that we have now, and it does look pretty good in the Iron Factory style, but I think it's actually more interesting that we're getting the Magic Square MSB16A Strongman Huffer metallic color version. And I've been kicking myself for like over a year for passing on this, and now it's back and it's the best price ever, $25 for a Magic Square. This isn't a KO, this is actual Magic Square. He is kind of small though, so he's a mini bot and that kind of stuff, but I think he's the best version out for a true G1 representation. And I don't think that New Age has done one yet. So it's funny that Iron Factory puts one out the same exact time Magic Square puts their reissue out. I didn't know they were even in competition because they're so different. And if you're still in the market for an off-colored, recolored version of the MP44 KO, they're all on sale for $80 right now. So I'm not sure. I guess they're not selling as well as they thought. The recolored versions don't always sell as well, but they do all look pretty cool. And of course, how many primes do you need? Oh, I made a video about that. It sounds like there's some people that will take every prime that's ever made, and they're still going. Alright, so going deep to what I think is the biggest Transformers news this week, and there's some stuff going on, but this is a KO of Acoustic Wave. They're calling it Sonic Wave, and it's highly impressive that this is actually coming out. So here's the skinny on this, or the fat on this, whatever. But it is going to be a slightly different color. It's going to be $100 instead of whatever it was before. It's going to come with 3 cassettes. As you can see, it's going to have Frenzy, Ravage, and Buzzsaw. Is it Buzzsaw? So not all the best ones, but it's still going to have 3 of the cassettes that they made. Would have been cool if they'd include them all, and they could have been like the Toys R Us version with 5 of them or something. But here's all the stuff that you get, and it's pretty interesting that you're going to be able to get this for $100. This changes the game. This really does sort of change the game for Fans Toys. I'm going to talk more about this on Friday, but I did pre-order mine from TF Direct, and it is quite interesting news this week. Just broke about a day and a half ago. And so with that, what does this change in the future for Fans Toys? And this thing just came out. I barely got mine put in my display, and here this thing is. Wow, that's fast, and I got a lot of questions, a lot of things to say. I got a week to prepare that video. Sticking with Fans Toys for just a bit, of course, they did put a video out showcasing coming soon, and they have their Phantasm. Is it Phantasm? But it's their take on Mirage, and of course it looks pretty good. Is it as good as Transform Element? We'll have to wait and see. But that video's out, so coming soon. These videos usually drop, and within 2 weeks, people have it in their hand. But it takes me a little bit longer to get them. But still, it's exciting that it's coming out. Pretty awesome that they're moving along, they're trucking along, and of course, this will be another point in Friday's video, of course. And X-Transbots has put out their, is this Artfire? Is that what they call it? So somebody has posted some pictures of this, and it's pretty cool. This isn't actually posted from X-Transbots, so I don't know if they got their hands on an early release or they actually just got a general release already. I don't know the story behind all this, but still pretty cool overall. This is based on the mold for Dante, and of course I was thinking, well, why would we need this? And It looks different than the animation. It's more slimline, more heroic looking, and it does look good. It actually does look really good. Odd thing about this, with this picture, the ladder in the back barely protrudes lower than the waist piece, meaning it looks so much better than I thought it would. Here it is in the alt mode and just looking like an actual real fire truck. That looks fantastic. Good thing it was a QC pass on there. So it's kind of interesting with the writing on the door there that is really cool overall. So much detail, so much going on with this thing. And X-Transbots pays so much attention to detail. And I'm looking forward to maybe a review on this and finding out how it goes. But I'm technically not in on any of these, but I like to follow it and watch it. And I'm impressed. I think it looks really good. Alright, so Flames Toys, Fury, Action, Leo Prime, official announcement and gallery. This thing looks fantastic, and I'd say I've held off on any iteration of this character. And it's $88, and it's 170 millimeters tall, 60 articulated positions, so points of articulation, I guess. I don't know. But it looks fantastic, and I gotta say, with the cloth cave and all that, and this might be the best version of this. And for me personally, since I'm not tied to the media from back in the day, and I'm not tied to any of the toy releases from back in the day, then I could just look at this and say, which one do I like the most? And this one might be it. This is really awesome looking. I do like the clean lines on it. It just looks smooth and clean, like I would imagine that it would. But I've avoided every iteration of this. I might actually just get the cheaper mainline release that's coming out down the road. But I still haven't gotten one of these. I think I eventually will for my Beast Wars display. But looks awesome. $88. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that. So there's not a whole lot going on in Masterpiece, but what is going on in the Legends? Well, we talked about the Huffer situation. Now we're getting a Mirage. No, Jazz. I just talked about Mirage. Jazz from Magic Square is getting what they call a recolor or repaint. I don't see much paint on this, and I don't see it much different than the one I have, but an excuse to put another one out is fine with me. If somebody missed out on this mold on the last time, pick it up. Don't sit for a year regretting it, because it is the best I have come across, and I have both. I have the Henry, I think that's what they call. I might be way wrong, but I got the New Age version. I got the Magic Square version. I like the Magic Square better. So with that, it's a slightly different recolor, I guess, but they both look good. They both look very similar, and I do like this figure. It is going to be my Jazz in my Legends scale for a long time. Okay, so Mechanic Studios putting out MCO3 Little Monster in conjunction with Dr. Wu. This is another one of those little microscopic ones that they're putting out below Legends, but I guess you can still call it Legends. And here it is in its truck form. And so I kind of think this was the one of the movie figures that was a radio controlled truck that transformed and all that kind of stuff. But then again, I haven't seen those movies in years, so I don't really know. But looking at this, still looks kind of cool. I actually kind of prefer the alt mode more than the bot mode. So getting into some mainline stuff, don't want to be too big of a downer here, but this is a look at Earth Spark toys at Sydney Oz Comic Con, and they don't look great, in my opinion. They might be fun and easy to transform, and I think that might be a good thing for kids, and this is targeting kids, and we want to get future generations involved in what we love, right? So this is another way to get future generations involved. This is not for me, but it's for the kids, and hopefully they enjoy it, and it's their generation. It's their time down here. So hopefully it does work, and that's what all these companies want to do. They want to reinvigorate the next generation, but maybe they need to incorporate a video game with it, right? So Prime vs. Prime has made a video of this Junkion, that it's the scrap hook, and these are in-hand images, and I don't know exactly how I feel with a Junkion being so much smaller than the other Junkions, but at the end of the day, it sort of makes sense. If in your head you could say they're all made of junk, so they should be different sizes. So I guess I'm okay with it, but it's just sort of adding a new character to the lore that we never had before, or was this in the lore and I just didn't know. So still, it's pretty cool overall, and I'm kind of glad that we got to see the size difference in there. It's massive. Sometimes the Deluxe and the Voyagers are similar in scale, because you can kind of look at some of the ones, such as maybe like the Ironhide in them, so that was a good value. The real breakdown comes right here. It turns into a truck a tow truck that's like a quarter of the size of a motorcycle. So then again, this doesn't display well side by side, I gotta say. So it's kind of funny, it's kind of odd. It's just one of those things they're just trying to figure out how to incorporate this in there. I understand. Just they need to all be in bot mode. And I don't think this guy can even ride Wreck-Gar. Alright, so I want to go on record here that when Siege came out with their Hound, I thought it was terrible. I thought the Siege Hound was just absolutely terrible. And I knew they'd give us a better one, but that was years ago. And I even chose not to buy a Siege Hound when they were on clearance for like $8 or $12 or something like that. So they were on clearance, I think it was Ross or something, and I had it in my hand and I thought, yeah, $8 doesn't sound bad, and I thought, nah, I still don't like it. I didn't even want to spend $8 on the Siege one. I knew we'd get a better one, and this one's better. Now, it's not perfect, it's better, and it is more along the lines of what I wanted, and I'm so happy I waited, so I will definitely pick this one up. Now, it's probably going to cost something stupid like $30. It's the buzzworthy Bumblebee version. It's coming from Target, and with that, though, it's weird because I think a lot of collectors are going to feel shafted here. They're going to be like, I bought the Siege one knowing it sucked, or some people actually like it somehow, and now we get this. So, really kind of crazy, really kind of strange, but we finally get what we want, after all, right, at the end. And the guy next to him is Dark of the Moon Ratchet, so there's a thing. It's Dark of the Moon Ratchet. Is that what it says? Hatchet. Okay, there we go. I don't know anything about that, so I really can't talk about it. I have no idea what that is. This one's going to be an oldie but a goodie, but this last week, Amazon actually had a sale of this for like $35. And I feel really stupid for spending so much on it. I could have caught it on sale, but I paid the $50-something for it because I just thought the Earthrise version of Mirage, we might not see Mirage in Transformers again for like a decade, but then again, we might just see them next year, who knows. So anyhow, look for these deals on Amazon. Amazon and all the retailers are going to be doing tons of clearance in the next few years with all these financial hard times. Speaking of financial hard times, look what was found at $1.25 Tree. We have these for $1.25 each, and they're different than the ones we had before, so that's cool. I don't know how they keep cranking out different variations and versions of these guys, but still kind of cool. They had the keyring, keychain, or bag clip things. Then they had the little microscopic ones that were in foil packages. Now they have these. So I don't know. I don't know why Dollar Tree keeps commissioning these to get made or whatever, but they still look pretty cool, and they look pretty well painted for $1.25 little microbots. Look good with maybe your Titan class figures, or you want to make something look really big and these look really small next to it. Maybe a Unicron or something. So there's sightings of this Micro Machines Transformer crossover base kind of thing, and it's kind of cool. It's Optimus Prime, and it almost looks like it would fit in with maybe a mainline Optimus Prime display as an Optimus Prime. So that sort of works in a way, but then it opens up to a big old base and all that kind of stuff. $25. So interesting how Micro Machines is making a comeback. I was definitely not into it back in the day as a kid, and I wasn't too into Hot Wheels, but I felt like Micro Machines were a step down from Hot Wheels. But a lot of people really, really like Micro Machines, and we have the whole micro craze, the micro changers from Transformers. I don't know how deep that's going to go when that really comes back. So this is kind of cool. It's Halloween time, and HalloweenCostumes.com. I guess they're doing a giveaway or something, but there's transformable costumes. You can be Bumblebee or you can be Optimus Prime. And at Sam's, my son, and my older son, who doesn't care about Transformers at all, looked over and said, "That's a cool costume." It was a transformable Optimus Prime. I don't know if it's the same one that Sam's carries as this HalloweenCostumes.com, but it does transform. It transforms into this. And so that's kind of cool. It's like we've always kind of wanted transformable costumes, and kids that are into Transformers always want to be part of the world. And I made my own Optimus Prime costume when I was like 12 or something, so it's pretty impressive. It was not impressive at all, actually. I would do so much better today. But Yeah, it's a pretty interesting concept, and you know it's October, so let's talk about it. Okay, I do want to touch on some 66 retro Batman TV series 6-inch stuff from McFarlane. And first one we're talking about is the Batman with oxygen mask, and then 66 Batgirl from the comic, and then 66 Robin with oxygen mask. So strange how they just like do the same thing in the same wave. And then 66 Wayne Manor Library, and then a Batboat. But there's discussions of a Batwing, and I'm interested in hearing what happens with a Batwing. The price of $315, and I don't know what's going on with that. But I imagine, you know, they did the blue Batwing, and that was like a cheap version. So they're going to do an ultra deluxe version. How's that going to go? And will that be a Target exclusive also? So I'm really interested in all of that kind of stuff. So really cool stuff going on with the Batman 66 line. And more information can be found at TNI News. So I grabbed this screen grab, and it's kind of funny because while I took the few seconds to make a screenshot of this, it went up about 6. Just in the few seconds I made a screenshot. But still not moving as fast as I thought it would. I actually thought it would back in day 1, and it did not back in day 1. So with that, it's still not fully backed, but fully funded. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this slowed way down, and I think the number one reason why it slowed way down is because of the fact that people were getting hit with the pending charge immediately, and I think some people thought if it were to back and hit the 5,000, they get charged right now, and most people are used to getting charged at the very end of the funding campaign, and so that's still a mystery because it's not funded, so none of us have been charged. And so it's an interesting question there. Second thing is, will we see a big surge at the end of week 1? So like Tuesday, will it just blow up? Because I'm pretty sure it'll back by Tuesday. But I thought it was back day 1 because it was halfway there in just a few hours. And then it really slowed down and really slowed down because it's been several days and we're only at 78%. But this is exciting if you're in on this. This is the cheapest it'll ever be. This is the cheapest you'll ever find a complete Eternia brand new with packaging and all that kind of stuff. So fantastic though that they're even making it. It's just mind-blowing still this thing is going to exist. Alright, so we've got packaging shots for Two-Face and Too Bad. Two-Face, Too Bad actually. So the thing about this is another one of those like small details that I don't remember, and is this going to be a deluxe? And so a lot of people are pointing out that deluxes are starting to come in these slimmer packages now, even though we just got 2 deluxe figures in the big old wide package. But this does look more like it's going to be deluxe packaging. This figure for classics is super expensive. I think it's like a $200 figure still. I didn't check it lately, but when I checked on it in the past, it's like a $200 figure. So to get one in the Masterverse, any one of those figures that are $100, $150, $200 that you can get for like $35 even, is a pretty good deal, and this one looks good, and it's different than classics. Now, we saw pictures of the movie Heman and Skeletor, and the thing about this is that we finally can order them. So you can get yours pre-ordered at BBTS, Entertainment Earth. Weird thing is that everything I've ordered from BBTS has been $1 or $2 cheaper, maybe in some cases $3 cheaper at Entertainment Earth, except these. These are cheaper at BBTS than Entertainment Earth. Now, they adjust their prices daily, so they go up and down, fluctuate up and down. That's why I pre-order them right away, because you can always cancel them and all that kind of stuff. But still, pretty exciting, pretty cool stuff. These figures look great. Head sculpt, maybe on He-Man, is not going to match the actor so well, but at the end of the day, the Skeletor looks really good and much, much cheaper than trying to go after the Super 7 versions. Okay, so I did make a video talking about Thundercats, Super 7, what's going on with them, and so there's a whole lot to say, and I made a whole video about that because I figured this would run really, really long if I spent a lot of time talking about this. So, number one, these are up for pre-order at your favorite place. Again, I just use BBTS just because it's easy to do it all in one place, but guess what? I do get some stuff at Entertainment Earth. Entertainment Earth has been doing some blowout sales on Super 7 Ultimates figures, and so I pick up a nice, like, 3-pack for $95, much better price, but these are all $55. So what I didn't talk about in my video was Snarf is way overpriced. He's $55, And so a lot of people are complaining about that. Cancel Snarf. I'm not going to get Snarf, blah, blah, blah. But you're going to get two bigger figures, Rotaro and Mongor, right? $55 each. You're going to get Willa, who's middle ground. She's a little small, $55. And then Snarf, who's microscopic, $55. He has some accessories, but it doesn't pay for the $55. At the end of the day, we're all arguing over this. Every single one of these is overpriced. I mean, these are like $25, $30 figures that they're charging $55 for. The reason they're charging that, because it's an obscure brand, super small production runs in comparison to... So let's say these even do 10,000. That's nothing like 80, 130,000 that you'd see with Star Wars, you'd see with Marvel Legends, you'd see with even G.I. Joe. Who knows how many Joes are out there? So with that, these are going to be a rarity and hard to get, and they all look good. So either you're in on it and you're not, so you just make that decision, and that's all there is to it. So Hiya Toys is making a Judge Dredd figure. So this is Judge Anderson, 1/18th scale, and it is going to include Lawmaster motorcycle. Now the thing about this is that it's pretty expensive. I was thinking like 30 or 40 bucks. Boy, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's $70. So that's $70 for a 4-inch tall figure with 16 points of articulation, shoulder and joint pads, chain and badge of office, utility belt, lawgiver, day stick, truncheon. It's gorgeously crafted. The MK2 Lawmaster bike comes with turning wheels and turnable front section, while headlights and computer screen can be illuminated. So there's stuff in this to sort of make up for it, but they do great work. I do have one of the RoboCop figures. It looks phenomenal, feels high quality, but 70 is a bit much in my opinion, but that's kind of the world we live in now. Alright, so getting into some good old Star Wars news, I was going to talk about this Droid Factory R6SNO Snowman, now available at Shop Disney for $15. So this is one of those cash grabs. It's a cash grab for Christmas, the holiday season, and those kinds of things. And maybe you pull it back out every year. Hasbro does this kind of stuff. You know, it's one of those things that's been done for the Black Series, and they do this kind of stuff over and over. But kind of cool. It's funny that my son just scored like an R2-D2 looking figure with a Santa hat for 50 cents at a garage sale. Speaking of those droids, there's an advent calendar that comes with 24 Build-A-Droid pieces that make up 5 full droids, and plus a bonus completed droid, making a total of 6 droids. And that's kind of cool. I mean, if you don't want your kids eating chocolate out of an advent calendar every day leading up to Christmas, then why not build some droids? But I doubt kids will be into this. It's more for adult collectors, in my opinion. Still kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. I mean, they're doing something fun, doing something a little bit different. Build-A-Droid has been wildly popular, by the way. Okay, so I'm seeing the Axe Wolves show up at Targets, and this is the Vintage Collection version. Looks pretty cool, looks good. You kind of need it to fill out your team. But at this point, I don't know if I even have it or not, so I'm not sure. Did it just come out, and I don't have it, and I need it? I got to go dig through like 6 boxes of these things, because I just really don't know what I have anymore. It's hard to keep up with. I'm kind of underwater when it comes to Star Wars, and it shows my lack of caring. So with that, I'll probably just buy one and throw in a box and hope that, you know, I didn't buy like 7 of them as I went along. But it looks pretty cool. They're also making a Black Series 1, and it's up for pre-order. So Hot Toys is making a Crosshairs. I usually don't talk about Hot Toys, but this is a pretty cool figure, and I do want to take this time to say that this thing's going to be expensive, but they're not putting out more Black Series of these. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to make them with all the new bright colors of the new characters, because it's never been confirmed, but we've seen that in the next series of Black Series, they have bright, colorful characters, as if they've gone into 90s G.I. Joe with a neon or something like that. So will the original cast get reissued? Will you even be able to get those with the bright, crazy colors? I bet you will, but it's one of those weird things. But this is Crosshairs, and it looks pretty good. It's an original one, made by Hot Toys. I'm not sure about the price, but you know, it's going to be pretty expensive. Let me see. $271 on this guy. Yeah, he carries a high premium, but he's definitely worth the money. So, orders closed finally on this Vintage Collection Boba Fett's throne room, and aka Jabba's palace throne room and all that kind of stuff. and this was that $235 set, something along those lines. And the thing about it is that there's some super sleuthing going on. They're trying to say it's like either 11 or between 11 and 20,000 of these were made. I don't know how many were made, but it might be one of those things that's kind of a rarity, and it might be hard to get down the road. But at the end of the day, for over $200 for this Throne Room set, I wasn't in on it, but a lot of people are, and that's the thing. If you're in on something like this, it's a high ticket item that is going to have some obscure, unique stuff to it. Then go for it, enjoy it. But it's not going to be out till like September of 2023, and with that, it's just to me it's impressive, but it's maybe like $80 impressive, nowhere near their asking price. So Andor just ended the season finale. My family and I watched it. We watched all the Star Wars stuff beginning to end, and we enjoy it. I think I missed a half of an episode or something along the way, or maybe a whole episode. I don't know, but I really wasn't digging it until the last episode, and I really enjoyed the last episode. Great finale to it. So it's kind of like one of those things. It was, in my opinion, really dull going all the way up till we saw the end, and the end was great. So with that, I was like, you should have led with this episode, but it was a pretty good one. It was a pretty good episode. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you literally just watch the first episode and the last episode, but still pretty interesting, pretty good overall at the end of it, but it didn't feel like Star Wars. And even with the great finale, to me it just didn't feel like Star Wars. So that's the difference between if I was going to watch like a spy movie or something. This is a good spy movie. But if I want to watch Star Wars, was it good Star Wars? That's the question right here. I could break it down a lot more, but so many people like it. It's great to move Star Wars forward in the future and all that kind of stuff. So let's look to the next chapter. There's going to be a season 2, I believe. And to sum it all up, there's this Pulse Premium 1027 fan stream. Now, I'm a Pulse member. If you're a Pulse member, then great. But the weird thing about this is that I have no idea what they're going to unveil, what they're going to talk about, and it's just a stream. I guess you get a link, you click the link, whatever, go to it. But so I plan to watch this and be part of this, whatever, just watch it and see what's going on. But it seems like one of those things that there shouldn't be any major announcements since it's only for Pulse members. So you're really cutting your audience from millions into tens of thousands. So that doesn't make any sense to me. I've never been part of these, so I guess it's something new that I'll be in on. But that's still a couple weeks away, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, what do you think about this week's weekly news review? It's been a light week of news, but good news. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of good stuff going on, even though it's not a massive quantity. There's a bit of quality to this, and that's the way I kind of like to look at news. If it's a quality news week, even if it's lighter, then that's fine. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Tidarium Hanger out.